Hey there, my name is Roy Biancalana, and I want to share an experience that I'm having, something that I'm doing that I think might help you, maybe something that would be of service to you. Very candidly, I want to say that I have had a recurring fear that's been in the background of my life, sometimes not so far in the background of my life, for decades. And that is a fear that seems to come out with this expression. It's a fear of financial ruin, of future financial disaster, of my business not doing well, not making any money. And the way I would say it to friends, my wife, myself, over and over again is one day, Roy, you're going to be 70 years old. You're going to be broke, homeless, and living in a cardboard box. That fear, that story has haunted me. And last week, I said it again, and something sort of snapped in me. That I was so sick of that story, so sick of that fear, that I just felt like I've got to do something. Because I can't live like this. This fear was causing suffering in me. It was really sapping my energy. Now, do you have a fear like that? I think most people do. Some fear of financial disaster, or of maybe your love life falling apart and being alone. Maybe of being physically sick, dying. We'll get back to that in a minute. But I just wonder if you have a story like that. You ever wonder, like, how can I break out of this fear? And I'm not talking about fears like, you fear spiders, or I fear flying. I'm not talking about that fear. I'm talking about the result of the fear. Like, if you fear flying, you don't fear flying, you fear dying. And so for me, it wasn't necessarily the fear of my business not doing well. It was that I was going to be 70 years old and broke and be homeless. And so I did two things. One is I talked with somebody who does facilitation work, and I looked for this view of myself I had. And it's right on the wall. Because you're viewing this, and I'm in a box. Because I've been living in this box for 5 days. Because I got sick of the story, so much so that I just said, you know what? I went and scrounged around, and I found some cardboard. I found cardboard, and I found some duct tape, and I made myself a box. And for the last 5 days, I have been living in this box on the balcony of my home. I've just made it bigger. I've just said, okay, Roy, you're afraid of being 70 and homeless and broke and being in a box? Well, then live in a box and see what it's like. Maybe it would be terrifying. Maybe I would die. I don't know what would happen. But I just decided I'm going to live the fear. Just make it bigger. Just go ahead and do it, what you're afraid of. And see if it's so bad. And so I made this box. And inside the box, I wrote all kinds of words on the wall of my box. And by the way, you see the box. There's the top of it. Okay, there's the side of it. You see some wording on the wall. If you can read that, right there it says, "You're not good enough." On the back, it says failure. And then the main one right there over my shoulder, "You're a loser." And over here it says, "He could never get over the hump." Those are the phrases that just go through my head, that make me suffer, that freak me out. So I wrote them here. And I sit all day in this box. And I just look at the words. I look to see if I can find anything in the words. Sometimes images pop up. Sometimes feelings come in my body from looking at the words. And I just sit with it. I actually not really doing anything with it. Although, like I mentioned a minute ago, I did do an inquiry session with a facilitator looking for this guy. Because I have the story, I'm a loser. I even wore a Cubs hat out here in the box. because, they can't win. They're losers. So I'm just going the whole 9 yards with this. So I did an inquiry session looking for the one who's a loser. Couldn't find him. But the main emphasis for me has been living in this box. And I go in my house to pee because I figure if I'm homeless, I can still go in a gas station and pee. But otherwise, I don't go in the house. I gave myself $15 a day to live on for food. Thank God for $5 Subway, $5 footlong. I walk between, because I have no car, because homeless people don't have cars. I walk between 4 to 8 miles a day to go get food, and I just wander around town like a vagrant, looking nasty, haven't shaved, haven't washed my hair, wearing my Cubs hat. I actually walked into a little restaurant to get a slice of pizza, and I was afraid they might throw me out because I smelled so bad, so nasty. So I've just gone the whole way with this, being a homeless person. And let me just tell you what I found. This is fucking great. This being homeless is awesome. It's so simple. I'm not afraid of this. I could live like this. It's okay. I could find cardboard and find a place for my box and find something to sleep on. It's simple. I'm okay. I could work at McDonald's cleaning tables for 3-4 hours a day, make enough money to buy a $5 Subway. And I've really seen that. I've had this story of I'll be 70 and broke and living in a box, and oh my God, so I just have done it. And I'm living it. And I'm coming out of the box tomorrow. Tomorrow's my 5th day. And I'm honestly sad. This is wonderful. Life is simple. It's quiet. I get up, I walk, I find some food, I come home, I sit, I look at the words on the wall. I just be. And I'm absolutely fine. So I would just suggest to you, if you have like a fear of, maybe you're single and you're afraid you'll die alone, well, then you ought to try to set something up in your life where you're completely alone. I mean, completely alone. Not any human contact. Try it. Try to set your life up to where you have no human contact, no phone. This is the only, because homeless people don't have Macintosh computers. So I haven't used my phone. I haven't used my computer other than this. So if you're afraid of being alone, then be alone. No human contact with anybody for like 4 or 5 days. See if you die. Maybe you're afraid of getting sick, getting cancer, and dying. Well, maybe you ought to go to Home Depot and buy some wood and make yourself a casket and put it in your car and drive it to a cemetery and put it on the grass in the cemetery and get in that box and spend the night lying in a box in a cemetery. See what it's like to be dead. So I don't know what yours is. I don't know what your fear is. There is a way to not only do an inquiry and look at these words that you say, that you believe about yourself. There's a way to look at that. And there's a way to actually live the fear in reality. Some way, if you're curious, there's a way you can do it. Experience it and see if it's as bad as you think. Because I know you've heard it. Spiritual teachers, they all say fear is an illusion. Well, the only way you get to find that out is if you live it and see what it is. So here I am. I'm in my box. And life is good. It's like it says right there. Life is good. Take care.